So 1 year ago, I finished my van build. It took me 7 months. It took me all of my energy. I filmed everything, but I didn't have the energy to start editing it. And when I was in Spain, my friend Therese, she asked me, can I do an interview with you about the van? And I said, like, yeah, sure. And in the end of this video, she say, if we get 5,000 likes on this video, would you consider to sit down and actually do the work with the editing? And I'm like, if we get 5,000 likes, of course. Here we are, we have 5,000 likes. If you haven't seen the video, I'm gonna link it somewhere up here. But to see everything from the beginning, we need to rewind this. So let's go. So I just bought myself a dream van project, a Mercedes Vario from 2002. These vans are really cool, like really retro looking in my opinion, and they are really rare to find in Sweden with Swedish registration. And I managed to do that, and as soon as I saw the for sale on this one, I just had to go. So me and my friend, we jumped into the car, we drove 350 kilometers just to have a look on this van. And wow, when I saw it, it was just everything I wanted it to be. Except, I mean, it's an old car, so we got some rust, we got some smaller issues. But I mean, that's just part of the project, right? But before we even got it all the way home, we ran into some issues. I mean, this is an old car. I was expecting issues, but not this fast. Okay, so I bought it 10 minutes ago, and here we are already having issues. It's basically dripping. That's the servo oil coming out there. Great! Yeah, it is what it is. I think we can just change that, and then we'll be good to go. You can see it coming out.
Clamps on the hose and
yeah. Easy. Already used the service car to pick up some new stuff. We got some oils, we got some clamps, oh, not that, but yeah, some tools, some clamps, and yeah, I think Freddy's gonna be the one to fix this. But after that, we got it all home safe and sound, and here we are. It's winter time. I'm gonna start doing some adjustments and tear out the interior, and in the summer I'm gonna return back home to my mom and dad's place where I have the van, and I'm gonna do a full rebuild on this. While I'm gone, I'm gonna send it in so they can do a paint job on the lower parts. Like, they're gonna take all the rust away, and they're gonna make it super clean, and they're gonna paint it black on the lower part of the car. And then I'm gonna adjust a lot of things afterwards, so we're not gonna repaint the whole car just yet, but they're gonna do this in the winter. And then when I return, I'm gonna go and pick it up, and I'm gonna start doing the rebuild. So now it's time to start to tear this van apart so we can rebuild it again.
So this is the old interior. It's registered like this for 6 people, and the previous owners was actually a Swedish rock band. So they used this bus to travel around Sweden and having concerts. This is pretty cool. The build itself was really well done, but even if it was well done, it was still rusted for some of the parts, so a lot of the bolts we had to cut out with the grinder. Once we got all of the back seats and everything out, we can start going off with the roof and the middle wall. And I'm super grateful to have my dad to come and help me to get all of this interior out. You see how they insulated everything, walls, middle wall, everything. Even the roof was insulated with rock wool. After we spent some time inside to do the middle wall, we went back to the back of the van where they used to have all the instrument and started to tear down the walls. And I'm going off with the middle wall, which needed a lot of work to get out. We used a jigsaw to get all the way around, and after a bit of messing around, we got it out.
am here. So these guys are gonna take care of my van for a couple of months now, and they're gonna repaint the lower part, take all the really bad rusty areas away, and I'm so happy that I do not have to do this. So I'm gonna go in and talk to the boys, and in a couple of months I'm gonna pick this car up, and it's gonna be so nice. Okay, so it's not really summer yet, but I managed to pick up the van because they just called me and it's ready, and I was home. So here it is, and my dad just about installed these massive doors so I can finally fit the van inside the garage, so I can do some work inside the garage, but it doesn't really fit everywhere, does it? So it's a really tight squeeze to get this inside at all. But yeah, it's inside. So now I'm gonna start doing some planning of how I want the layout to be inside the van. Okay, so I've just been measuring up kind of like how I want my layout. So that is gonna be a shower. That right there is gonna be the kitchen. On this side, we're gonna have like the studio and the workbench. And here in the back, that's gonna be sofa, and you can make a little like slide over here, so you get like a divan, U sofa right here. And then from the roof, you're gonna have the bed coming down over the whole sofa. And those doors are gonna go, and that is just gonna be a complete massive glass window, which is gonna be awesome. Or window, but doors, that's just gonna be super awesome. And the roof. So the roof is actually gonna be 3 decimeter higher than it is today. So I'm gonna cut everything from here all the way around, and I'm gonna lift the whole roof up 30 centimeter. And then I don't know how I'm gonna do that here, but I'm gonna sort that out, because that's basically gonna stay kind of as it is. But yeah, this is gonna be a massive project. The reason for it is that I wanna do a big bed here in the back, and that's gonna slide up to the roof, and I wanna be able to walk underneath the bed when it's all the way up into the roof. So that's the reason why I'm hiring the whole roof 30 centimeters. And here in the front, it just gonna looks awesome with massive space in the roof. So I kind of done a dummy of like how this actually gonna look like, so you can get more of a feeling of how it's gonna be with the distance when you walk through, if it's gonna be tight, if it's gonna be too much space, which is never really is in a van anyway. But yeah, you get the idea, and now it's easier to see if I've been thinking weird somewhere. But it looks nice. Like that's the kitchen right there, the studio bar kind of thing, sofa. Yeah, it looks awesome. So now when I kind of done the layout how I want it, like I want the sofa here and I want the sofa in here, then I realized that underneath here is a lot of space that is not used. You can see like that. So all of this space, I'm gonna cut out this part of the floor and then lower it down and make like a massive box underneath here. And I think that is just gonna be epic, because that gives me a lot of extra space. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. Cut these out.
I just love using this saw. You put this rail down and then you have a perfect straight cut straight away. Just beautiful. And with a little bit of grinding, with a little bit of sawing, we had our first hole. Hello, Andy. Then we're gonna leave the interior for a bit. I purchased this back lift it's for handicapped, so it's for 500 kilos. And now I just need to figure out a way to get this into the frame rail of the Vario. So I start up with cutting up a big hole in the back. Oh, that's my camera lens, by the way, really getting pounded. I could definitely see that on the camera lens afterwards. We had some extra beams and stuff for the spare wheel that I also took out, and then I can start to kind of fit in the lift. And the support for the lift was made for a completely different car, so I just had to figure out a way of getting this to fit into the Vario. And this steel are really thick, so it takes a while to get through it with the grinder. But I had an idea and I kind of just went for it. So here you have the frame, and my idea is to kind of like slide the whole thing into it just like that. And I think that's gonna work pretty well.
Well, it may not look like it, but we are really close to getting that one in underneath the van. Okay, so I had to do a little bit more demounting before I could actually get this in. So like my garage looks like trash right now, but yeah, that's what it is. I built these ones out of the old things, like the old setup for Mercedes Sprinter, I think it was. So now they hopefully will fit underneath here, inside there. They're just gonna slide in there and there, and then afterwards I have to figure out mounting points. But yeah, later problem. Now get this in.
Okay, let's see if this fits. It's really hard to do this just on your own, but I'm really happy that I have the lift in the garage, and kind of like reversing the van and try to make this 200 kilo unit to fit in at the same time was really tricky. But after a little bit of adjusting, I managed to get it to slide into the beams pretty easily.
And finally, it's hanging by its own power. And I got some wiring to do. That's gonna be a sweet balcony, that's for sure.
So this unit is built up with everything. It has the hydraulic pump, it have the electrical system, everything, and the remote. So all I needed to do is plug it into 12 volt and voila, it works. So this is the first time I'm trying it out, and it was no problem. It can sustain the weight and everything was fine. So I can start going off with the grinder to make this my balcony. And you see I'm wearing the mask is because it's galvanized, and it's a lot of toxic acid that comes off when you do grinding or welding in galvanized material. And after a lot of work, me and my dad could finally lift this off.
Okay, so I've been measuring a lot. I've been trying to put the bike on the back of the van already, and it was not kind of like lifting it up, but we were hanging it up here in the top. So what I think I need to do is to actually start lifting the whole bike from like the middle of the lift. So I've been buying these, a lot of these, and I'm gonna do like a frame around for like the balcony section, and then I'm gonna build like an L-shaped frame for the motorbike to stand on. So right now I'm gonna start focus on cutting and welding and try to get this into place.
So after a couple of hours of welding, I think we are getting somewhere. So it's gonna be a wheel, and I did some extra stabilization here for the frame itself. And then it's time to try to get the bike up for the first time.
You ready? Come on. This is a really big moment. It's actually hanging in there by itself, but we have a little bit of issues with like the construction of this and like how much the lift can actually lift. So it's not really lifting the motorbike as it should do. So we have to think about something there. But otherwise, it's awesome. It works. I have a balcony, I have a stand for my motorbike, all in the same thing, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna explain to you really quick what's going on with the lift, why it doesn't lift the motorbike properly. I mean, the lift is 500 kilos, it can lift 500 kilos, no problem. But it can only lift 500 kilos when it's all out like that. And the cylinder has the most power pushing this way. But when the lift is higher up like this, it has a really hard time to push the bike up because it's getting really weak with that kind of angle, lift angle. So what I've done is So what I've done is that I created a hole further down like that. So the cylinder has more of a power when it's lifting in that kind of high angle. I have to do some steel things to make the bolt go further down on the adapter because I don't have enough material on the piece to make the bolt go through. So that's what's gonna happen before the lift is done. So now these ones are gonna get drilled into the frame, and then before everything goes back on the van again, I'm gonna repaint all of this and I'm gonna repaint all of the frame underneath. So that's gonna be the next step. Okay, so finished drilling all the holes for that. Now, this one, that's the air tank, the original air tank, that normally sits over there somewhere, but because of the lift, I can't have it there. So this one, gonna go up there, and this area right here is where I'm gonna put my LPG tank. So that's what's gonna be drilled in now before we go on and do all of the painting of the frames and get all of this away. So this is the original holders for the air tank. So I'm just gonna cut these in pieces and use the part that this one goes into like that, kind of. And then I'm gonna mount these ones for the LPG tank that is just right there. Okay, so now it's time for these ones to get inside the van, and the installation of those are super simple because I got this area right. Oh wait. I got this area right here, just behind that, and that's gonna fit super perfect right there, I think. I hope.
And then it was time to drill some holes. And when you have a wooden floor, it's super convenient to just measure everything from inside, drill the holes, and voila, we have mounting spots for the gas tank. Once I know that everything fits, I painted all of these racks because they came unpainted, and then it was just time to set everything up. And this is a hard work when you're on your own. It's a heavy tank, but after a while it was in place, and it was time to go through all the components that I've got with the tank.
So I'm just running through all the things that I've got with this kit. So this is to actually have electric measurement of the gas inside the van, and I also have like an electric shut off somewhere. No, it's actually on this bottom as well, I think. Yeah, so it's electric shut off, and it's also the measurement for how much gas that is in the tank. I got refilling kit that's gonna be fitted on the van, and then I got the pressure gauge to make it low pressure, and then some hoses and stuff. So I think it's time to get these things installed.
Okay, so we're gonna round this video off just right here. But if you wanna see how I keep on transforming this van from this to that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and please leave me comments, and I try to respond to all of them. If you have any questions about the build and how I did things and why I did things the way I did, let me know in the comment section, and I see you in the next video.